Hello everybody, I'm going to do a review on this Werner ladder stabilizer I picked up from Lowe's. This was $25 plus tax. This is model AC96. I purchased this for a couple of reasons, but the main one is I'm painting my house, as a lot of you know, and I needed to clear my soffit so I could paint my fascia. And without having a stabilizer to give me some standoff from the house, I would have to break my back to try to get around there and paint it. So this will give you a 10-inch standoff, and it spans, they claim, it will span a 47-inch window. Let's say if you were doing trim work around it or cleaning. So you could span that with it. It's really light, so it doesn't really add much weight to the ladder. The second reason I purchased it was this particular ladder I have is also a Werner, and this is a type 3 ladder, so it really has a max load rating of 200 pounds. So keep that in mind if you're purchasing a ladder. If you weigh 200 pounds, it's just you. You can't really do anything else with this ladder. I really prefer fiberglass ladders, extensions, and steps, and I really like the Werner ladders, but this was a gift, so I'm just making do. This ladder, you know, it wiggles around quite a bit, and I just don't really feel safe on it. I don't have a fear of heights, but I have a fear of falling. I don't like falling, and I've taken many spills off ladders and lived to tell the tale. So I'm not going to really get off into safety on things. Do your own research on that, but there are a couple key elements here on how to install it properly that I wanted to cover. It's very basic, very simple, but this is only meant to be used on aluminum ladders, not fiberglass ladders. They sell another one that is a lot more expensive that quick clips on the rungs if you have a fiberglass ladder. The first thing you do once you get it out of the box are install these aluminum plugs right here and the feet, and they go on in this orientation right here. Plain and simple. The rubber here is pretty soft. It shouldn't mar any surface, and because they put that piece in there, it shouldn't cut through this. I don't know how long they'll last, but that's the way those go on. Alright, well, I wanted to mention it also came with a pail hook, so if you're painting off of it, you can hang your pail right here. So that would go on obviously before the feet. I have mine on the left hand side since I'm left-handed, but right-handers might put it on the other side. It comes with a couple little brackets like this, a couple U-bolts, another bracket, and a series of wing nuts. There is a way that you need to put this on, or it can slide off. So basically just lay your ladder on it like I have here, center your ladder in the device, put on one of these hooks, and this is the way it will fit on there. So this is encapsulating this top rung, and this you want touching the rung. So you want to get this as tight as possible. If you were to put it on the other way, potentially it could slide up. Insert your bracket on the back, install your wing nuts, tighten everything up, and that's it. Just wanted to point out another reason why this particular ladder feels unstable. It is a light duty 200-pound type 3 ladder, so that in its own right is going to make it a little bit more flexible. But the main reason is these plastic caps they've put in the end of this have a lot of movement right here. So when you're standing on it, especially when you have it extended out to its maximum, it wiggles around so much here that it just gets accentuated where you're standing, and it doesn't make for a good feeling. They do sell boot caps you can put on here to help protect the surface you were putting it up against, and that may have helped eliminate that problem, but it wouldn't have solved my standout issue. So I was able to get both problems solved with this one device. I just want to throw in a little tip here on how I set the angle of the ladder to the wall. I stand with my toes on the feet of the ladder, and then stand up straight and stick my arms straight out and put my palms on these rails. And if I can stand there and hold it, then I'm at the proper angle. If I cannot reach it, I need to move the ladder towards the wall, or conversely, if my elbows are crooked, I'll pull it away from the wall. So I'm standing up straight, and you can see that I'm touching this just fine. If I was standing up straight and I'm like this, I need to move the ladder to the wall. And that's pretty good. Okay, here's an example of it spanning a window. I have it extended 2 rungs. I'm going to go ahead and do a stability test on it, see what I think. It is super stable. I'm going to do a higher test with it. Alright, now I have it extended out as far as the ladder will reach. I'm going to do the same test and see what I think fully extended. It is certainly less stable when it's all the way extended, and I expected that, but I would say it took at least half of the instability out of it, maybe even more. I don't have any issues now with being up that high with it. I certainly felt okay being on it. Okay, well, according to Werner's website, you're not supposed to use this in an application like I have it set up right here for like getting up onto a roof or something like that, but you can find pictures all over the internet with people doing this very thing. It must be a disclaimer issue. But you can see I have it laid out on the shingles. In lieu, I don't have a gutter, but in lieu of putting it up against my tabs and curling those down and creating damage, I can stand off away from that. If you did have gutters, you can clear a gutter without crushing them and laying the ladder right up against it. Now, obviously this ladder's too short for the back of my house, and what I mean by that is, if I was going to climb up on the roof, you want 3 feet to extend above the roof line so you have something to hang on to, and of course you never step above where the ladder's resting. So in this case, you do not step above that device where you can tilt the ladder and then down you come. Just a little safety warning right there. But you would simply move that down and get, let's say, 3 rungs above the roof, and then you would be safe to get up there and climb on. But it's just another example of how one could use this if they chose to. Alright, well, I'm completely satisfied with it and its performance. It certainly stiffened up my ladder to the point where I don't mind being on it now, especially when it's extended out to its longest length. This is not the only option for a stabilizer. This is just the one I went with because it was available locally. Werner sells 2 other versions of this, and there's other makes and models out there as well, I'm sure. The only thing I will note is when you do have it installed on the top rung, the fly section of the ladder will not close all the way down. It will stay 1 rung up. It's not a big deal, but that's just something to take into consideration, because it will extend the closed length of your ladder by a rung. Aside from that, I think it's a great product. I would highly recommend looking into one if you don't own one. Thanks for watching, and good luck.